Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make music using code. It's pretty exciting stuff, and to achieve this we're going to be using the program Sonic Pi. For the purpose of fun and simplicity, I'm going to be using everyone's favourite guitar jam, Smoke on the Water, to demo how to do this in Sonic Pi today. So our first step before anything else, you might do it differently, but I'm going to do it this way, is to write in the BPM. So that's the beats per minute, or the tempo that we want our melody to be played back to us. So to do this, I'm going to write use underscore BPM. So that's telling the computer to use the BPM that I'm about to put in, and then we put our number. So I want everything that I write in from this point to be played back to me at 120 BPM. Enter. Fantastic. The next section of this is to input our notes. So the first note that I'm going to input is a D in the fourth octave. That's the key that I'm going to be kind of playing around with here. So to do this, you just simply need to write play, colon, always put a colon before the function that you want it to do, D4, so that's note D in the fourth octave. Enter. Fantastic. Now, in music, there is always moments of rest, moments of silence, and we also need to let the computer know that these moments exist as well. So to do this, I'm going to write sleep 1. So I simply am telling the computer to write, or to play rather, nothing for 1 beat. The next note in the melody is an F in the fourth octave. Then I want it to sleep for 1 beat again, and then the next note is a G in the fourth octave. So we kind of just keep going with that pattern. Your sleeps will be a little bit longer or a little bit shorter depending on the rhythm of your melody, and you kind of just keep going with that play and sleep thing until you've completed writing. So I'm just going to put that in there. Very good. Leave a space. Now what I'm going to do is write the harmony line for the melody, because you know the melody's great, but harmony always makes it a little bit better. So once again, use BPM 120 for this as well, because it would be a little bit weird if the harmony was playing at a different speed than the melody. And the entire harmony line for Smoke on the Water is a fourth above the melody, and there you have it. So there's your melody and your harmony part for Smoke on the Water. But the issue here is that if I was to press run at this point, it would just play row by row. It would play the melody line, and then it would just play the harmony line on its own directly after. But the thing is that I want them to play at the same time. So the way that I'm going to do this is by making the melody line and the harmony line 2 separate sections. And the way that I'm going to do this is by asking the computer to make them their own function. First I'm going to write define above the melody line. So that means that I'm about to say call this section this. I want it to call the section melody for the sake of simplicity. So that's colon melody. Define it as melody. And then after that, do. At the very end of the section, we're going to write end. So what that means, once again, is that this whole melody line, 1 note melody line, is called melody. We want it to start or do it from here, and we want it to end it here. So there it is. Then we're going to do exactly the same thing with the harmony, except this time we're going to call it harmony so we know what it is, and do. and then at the end of that, end. So now the computer knows that we have two separate sections. This is the melody and this is the harmony. Now if we want them to be played together, we simply need to tell the computer to do that for us. So the way that I'm going to do this is by giving the computer another function to do. This time I'm going to call it Smoke on the Water, because that's the name of the song. Do it. So every time that I tell the computer to do the function Smoke on the Water, this is what it is going to do. So I want it to, first of all, loop something. So I'm going to write loop do. Okay, it knows now I'm going to loop something. I want it to play the melody without the harmony just once on its own before the harmony is introduced. So the way that I'm going to tell it to do that is by writing 1 full stop times do melody end. So going over that again, that's saying when I tell the computer to do Smoke on the Water, it is going to loop 1 times the melody and then end that. After that, I want it to play the melody and the harmony together 3 times over. So 3 full stop times do in underscore thread do melody end. And now we need to add the harmony bit to that as well. So we'll go in underscore thread do the harmony part as well, end. So recapping that, what's going to happen now is when we tell the water to do Smoke on the Water, it's going to loop the melody 1 time on its own, and then it's going to loop the melody and the harmony parts together 3 times. And then the last tiny bit of this is for every do that we have written, we have to end. So this program does all of the lovely indenting for you, so you can really clearly see every do that you have ended. And that means that it will simply stop after it's done, this looping. So then if we simply write underneath our function name, which is Smoke on the Water, and we press run, it will do entirely this. So the idea with this is that we could go through and write every single note row by row in exactly the way that we want it to play, but that would be hundreds of rows and not very neat and tidy. So using functions like this, making sections into functions that have names, and then compressing it all down into something like this just makes, it's less time consuming, it's neater, it just kind of makes more sense. It's the way that programming works. So yeah, I encourage you to give this a go if you're interested. It's kind of lots of fun, so enjoy. Thanks for listening.